Okay, here we go. Here we go, my first live ever. Obviously nobody here yet, so I don't know if anybody's gonna show up, but this is something I've been thinking about doing for quite some time. Let's start with the basics. So who am I? What am I doing here? My name is Erkka Suvanto. Many of you call me EJ, and that's fine for the international audience. I was originally born in Finland. I'm a dual citizen of Finland and the United States. So what am I doing here? I started my YouTube channel a little over a year ago when I started creating business content. I had been thinking about creating content for my kids primarily for quite some time, and I was thinking about legacy, so to say, asking myself if this, whatever I talk about, would ever be useful for my own kids. So that's how I started putting together stuff, and it was in the beginning around health, wealth, and happiness. And now, I would say a week ago, I repositioned my channel towards real estate, which is something I've done extensively. So professional background, quickly, corporate career for a larger telecommunications company for 10 plus years. And then after that, I did my first full-blown reset as an entrepreneur, so started investing in real estate in California, where I lived at that point. I had done real estate on this side here in Europe as well. And then when we moved back to Europe, I started another company, and then this is what I call my business coaching career, being my third reset as a business owner. And like I said, nowadays I'm a business coach, real estate investor. I help other people grow their companies, and I repositioned my services towards real estate only roughly a week ago. And I create long and short videos, primarily on YouTube and other channels as well. So started creating these lives now. So this is really my first ever. I have no other plan, to be perfectly honest, but to show my face. Really, for some of my followers who log in, I don't know if there's going to be anybody today. I don't actually expect, but maybe there's a positive surprise. So I'm thinking of doing this as a recurring thing, meaning several times a week, maybe even daily if I really get excited. It's 5 p.m. here where I'm at right now in Finland. So that makes it 7 a.m. Pacific time and 10 a.m. East Coast time, where most of my clients right now are in the US or in Canada. But so what I was planning on doing is that I was thinking of actually talking about real estate, some real issues that people have. And for that purpose, I have a couple of my idea forums, idea generators here in front of me, meaning Bigger Pockets, discussion forums, and Reddit forums. So I was thinking of discussing some of the hot topics in these live sessions regularly. And by the way, if you wonder why I'm sweating, it's super boiling hot in my office. I don't have AC here, so if you see me wipe sweat off my forehead, that's the reason, because it's just unbearably hot. But that's okay. So if we, like I said, let's talk about real estate. Even if there's no audience, these are recorded, I believe saved for later, for future purposes. So maybe somebody gets some value out of this. That's really the reason why I'm here. We have a first person online apparently. Welcome. So my name is EJ. I'm a real estate coach, investor myself, and I started doing these lives. And the purpose of this is to just talk about real estate, what's hot today, and what are the latest trends. And like I just mentioned, I'm going to start covering the topics from Bigger Pockets forums, something I find very interesting, the topics that people talk about on a regular basis. So what's going on today? The first forum topic that I came across, why markets with low appreciation grow your net worth twice as fast. So this is a typical yes or no type of a debate that happens online on these discussion forums all the time. So people are basically debating whether you should be investing in higher appreciating assets versus cash flowing properties. And to me, it's not a yes or no type of a discussion. It's basically something that every investor needs to figure out on his own. Here's the principle I follow. I have traditionally done more fix and flips or done new constructions, meaning trying to force the appreciation, make money, exit the deal, and then reinvest those proceeds. I do have a sizable rental portfolio of roughly 20 plus properties. They are all here in Northern Europe right now, meaning in Finland. I don't have any properties left in the US. But if we talk about or think about these two extremes, so let's say the person who submitted the original post was basically saying that, okay, would I be better off investing in Memphis real estate where the house is worth 150 and I get a tenant there and I get 1,500 a month as rent, and then that would be a cash flowing property. Cash flow means that your rent exceeds your monthly expenses, and then that way you accumulate your wealth, so to say. And then the other extreme being that, okay, maybe there's an asset, a property in a higher appreciating area, let's say in California, along the coast, and that asset would be appreciating faster. So which one is better? I don't think it's that black or white. My take on that is that I never invest in an area or city where I see the values going lower long term. I think that should be rule number one. The things I look at are population growth and employment growth. So what is it that people do in the area? Is there more demand? Do people want to gravitate towards that area? Do they move in? What do they want to do? And are there employment opportunities? If those two things happen, meaning the population grows all the time, that means that the land value goes higher and the properties are worth more over time. So that's the number one thing that I personally look at. And then after that, I always remember that the rule number one in real estate is that you make your money when you purchase the property. So you need to be able to buy something below market value. If you buy your properties at market value, ultimately you're speculating. Real estate to me is a forced appreciation game. So you want to make sure that your assets at least have a potential to appreciate over time. That's number one. All of my properties have done well as far as appreciation goes, and everything that I buy, they have to cash flow. I have in the past bought properties, mainly apartments, that were negative from the cash flow perspective in the beginning, but that was simply because I was able to use 100% financing. I used equity from other deals. I had collateral at the bank, and that allowed me to leverage the equity that I had built up over time, and therefore I was able to it made sense for me to buy something that I saw huge potential in appreciation. But anyhow, do your homework and make sure that you understand what the trend is in that particular area. But cash flow is right now, appreciation is always something that's in the future. I would personally, probably if I had to pick, I would lean maybe towards cash flow a little more because it's a common thing. It's a sure thing that you get to keep no matter what. Appreciation is always speculation. Okay, so that was the first thing. Like I said, I wanted to go through a list of things here or topics on this forum and just to offer my 2 cents today and add a little bit of value. Like I said, this is my first live ever, and I've seen people come and go here, so I guess there are some people that have visited already, so I appreciate everybody. So I don't know how this is going to turn out, but I'm kind of excited, to be perfectly honest. How do you fund a flip without using your own cash is the next topic here. A lot of new investors I've spoken with lately are asking, how do you fund a flip without using your own cash? Quick answer, it's possible, especially if the numbers make sense and you know where to look. I've seen investors structure deals using creative financing options like hard money, gap funding, or partner capital. Something that people seem to forget in real estate is that if your deal is good enough, you'll always find money, whether it's a private lender, hard money lender, or an equity partner. If you can put together something that's very appealing, there's always going to be people financing it. That's not going to be a problem. You should focus always, in my opinion, on understanding how the game works, how to make money, meaning buy low, understand your rehab cost, and understand your ARV, meaning your after repair value. These are very basics, these are the fundamentals, but if you're wondering if it's possible to invest in real estate without putting any money from your own pocket, it definitely is possible. The way I would do that personally, and I have done it actually, when I started in San Diego in 09, 2010, I actually had two companies, one that was 100% mine and the other one was a 50-50 partnership where the other person brought the money and I was the one doing all the work. So in that case, if you are partnering up with somebody, make sure that you have the competence, because oftentimes those people who bring the money, they don't have time. So they are just the equity partners, maybe the silent partners, and they rely on your competence. So I would first enter the game understanding what is it that I need to know, what's my gap analysis, where do I want to go, what are the variables I need to be able to control, meaning get good at it. And maybe you start as a door knocker, as a bird dog, knocking on doors, putting together deals, or as a wholesaler, or working for a wholesaler, so that you start cold calling and then you understand the numbers game, and then you need to enter the rehab game. But yes, it's definitely possible to make money in real estate without putting any money from your own pocket. It's one of those businesses where actually few businesses, in my opinion, where it is doable, whereas starting something else would be pretty hard. So I think real estate definitely favors that. So that was just my 2 cents on that. The other thing I wanted to do, there's an interesting topic here about what no one's talking about in multifamily right now. But to me, this is a topic about overall in life. If we scroll social media, if we talk to people, we always seem to be exaggerating how well things are going and whatnot. Not too many people are willing to be naked, so to say, in front of the camera and accept that sometimes life is unbearably hard. So what does that mean in real estate? What does that mean in terms of my case in my career? I've been very open about this. If you go and watch my videos here on YouTube, there are, I think, hundreds of them if you count the longs and the shorts. I've been very open about my divorce, my breakups, and my financial hardship, and also my success. But financial hardship and hardship overall, difficult times in life, are the ones that really give us that backbone, in my opinion, because that's when we learn the most. I can give you a couple of examples from my personal life as far as when the going got tough. The first one was after my last breakup, and it seems like everything always happens at the same time. So that was the time when the bottom fell off here in Finland when it comes to real estate. So we had like 10 to 15 years of high appreciation, and then all of a sudden, like, you know, like the old saying goes, what goes up comes down as well. Then we had the hangover. And when the hangover started, like I said, we had several years of good appreciation, and I had most of my assets tied up in real estate. So when I had some personal turmoil in my life, also at the same time I decided to start this third business, meaning the business coaching thing that I'm doing right now, together with investing in real estate. So I had to fund certain projects, and I need to get some money out of those assets that I had, so mainly rentals. So of course the market took a nosedive. I had to sell at the worst possible time. So that was kind of tough because I saw interest rates going up at the same time property values going down. So it was a combination of several, I would say, challenging things in my life. But not many people want to talk about that stuff, because to them it's always about, you know, painting the rosy picture and portraying yourself as the guy who's always successful. No, I haven't been. I mean, to me, life is about micro level losses followed by an occasional win here and there. And I think that's what really makes it interesting. But one of my favorite topics in life overall is that we seem to be overly outcome driven and oriented with our thinking. People think that they're going to be happy if they get a certain outcome or an end result. But I think what made me really a lot happier in real estate in my personal life was when I realized that actually it doesn't really matter as long as nobody died, nobody got sick. I'm pretty much the same way. So I detached myself from the outcome, and I learned and I taught myself how to focus on the present moment and not worry about the future or the past that much. And okay, so how is this tied back to the Bigger Pockets forum post? I think it's just a good opening statement from somebody to just like introduce some hardship and talk about the things that went south. So this particular guy, he had to exit 20 deals, not all of them by choice. It was painful financially, emotionally, and relationally. But here's the crazy part. No one's really talking about what they learned. Some folks have gone silent. Others are still acting like it's 2021 We all know what happens to property values post-COVID. Crazy appreciation. Meanwhile, behind the scenes, deals are bleeding cash, lenders are backing away, insurance costs are exploding, operators are quietly scrambling. And that's, I believe, that's life overall. There are ups and downs. But sometimes the goal is just to stay in the game and make sure that, you never quit. Because most of the time, winning is not quitting. That's how I look at it. By the way, if anybody could comment, is there... Love your videos. Thank you. How do I, by the way, do this? I just scroll down, I guess. Yeah. Welcome to live chat. Yeah. So thank you for the thumbs up. This is my live. For those of you, well, there's nobody there right now, but anyhow, if you watch this recording after the fact, this is my first live. And I actually thought about doing this a daily thing. I don't know if that would make sense, maybe doing it at the same time. I don't know if this is a good time or not. I just decided to start this randomly. I didn't advertise my live anywhere. Maybe in the future I will do it. But I just wanted to throw myself in the cold water, which seems to be my way of living my life anyhow, and started doing this live. I think it's actually quite a lot of fun. Let's see if I have enough to talk about on a daily basis, but I will keep this conversational, and I think the reason why I wanted to do this is that I would take people behind the scenes and show them, those of you who think that my videos add value, because I truly, genuinely want to help, and of course turn this into a business at the same time, but I have to be able to give, provide value first so that this can actually become something, and I could then at the same time get some financial benefit out of this and build my brand and whatnot for the long term. I was about to say something that I now forgot. Yeah, so long term doing these lives. So I was actually contemplating if I should do this 7 days a week, always at the same time. But since I just didn't announce this in any way, I just picked a time slot that would probably make the most sense for me right now, given also and knowing where most of my clients are right now. Which happens to be in North America. So this timing actually works for Europe. It works for North America. It might and hopefully works for people in Asia Pacific as well, even though it's later there. Thank you for the second thumb up. I appreciate it. Like I said, hopefully these add value. But yeah, this is what I was about to say. I want to keep these conversational. I want to keep these real estate focused because that's where I am with my business coaching right now. But I'm also a big thinker. I like to think about personal development, how we live our lives and how to live a happier life. So therefore, I want to take some of you, if there's going to be an audience in the future, to behind the scenes and show that I can smile too. People say that I look serious. I look like a successful mass murderer. That's a common thing I hear all the time. No, I'm actually not that scary. I just might look scary sometimes. But it's 5:20 now here, so I've been going on for 20 minutes. I don't know if I'm gonna keep this on for any longer than this. I hope this is gonna be recorded. That's my understanding. I don't know how I end this, by the way, but I guess I can figure it out. But yeah, so maybe I'll end it here. Thank you to those of you who joined, even for a brief moment. And like I said, I truly hope I can add some value. And if there's anybody who wants to ask me anything, obviously, join the live, send me a text, send me an email, and I'm more than happy to incorporate your wishes into my videos, so to say. By the way, and tomorrow I'm going to be recording another long YouTube video about how to choose this is the script that I'm showing here, how to choose your best tenants. I've done this for over 20 years, so I have some hopefully practical tips that those of you who are landlords out there in the real estate game can utilize. So that's going to come out tomorrow. I'm actually going to record it inside one of my properties that's under renovation right now. It looks like a complete piece of shit, but it's okay. At least you get to see what these things look like before they are ready. But anyhow, so I think that's it for right now. This was a brief first live that I ever did. Again, thank you for joining, and I'll talk to you next time.